This is DropTent Media Network.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy, Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by two comedians who are dads. And you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast. And
anywhere you get your podcast, that's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
The old saying goes, if you don't work, you don't eat. Well, there's a new saying for the new generation. You either grind or starve. Established in 2015, Grind or Starve Apparel has become the premier fashion brand for today's hustlers, entrepreneurs, and CEOs in the making. The online store provides groundbreaking styles and innovative designs for today's go-getters, proving that you can grind and look good at the same time. Grind or Starve has several collections to choose from. The new GOS Luxury, Designer, Location Apparel, rep your city to the fullest, Fitness, Barber Edition, Stylist Edition, and Baker's Edition. Go to gosapparel.com the next time you need a hoodie, polo, G-shirts, bags, all made with the best quality materials. Grind or Starve. The choice is yours. Go to gosapparel.com. HighIQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. What's going on, bro?
I'm gonna go for like a quadruple double. I'm playing the game.
Start recording. If anyone drops out or anything like that, it'll just, you'll know it when it happens, obviously. But if anyone drops out, it's not a big deal. We'll just come back in naturally. I'll cut it out and we'll just keep moving. All right. Cool. I'm going to get out of here and you guys can just start like normal. Yeah. And since you have headphones on, you'll be able to hear the annoying buzzer. But I'll try to just let you, like we said before, I'm going to let you kind of finish up the point. If you hear the buzzer, then we'll just do that like minute wrap up kind of thing for each. Cool. Oh yeah, and then once I go out, just start whenever you want.
Well, I mean,
wait a second. Wait, no. It's like I should have said, like, are we ready? Like, are we ready to go? Oh yeah, well that's a good thing. I'm glad that happened actually, because then I'm gonna tell Ray, and then just because some people hook up their phones to if you're on a laptop or something, and it'll go off if you get buzzed. So yeah, we just want to make sure that.
My bad. A little oxygen in here. It's a little hot.
Okay. Ray, do you have your phone hooked up to the device you're on, or is this your phone, or what?
This is the iPad. I'm not. That's not my phone.
Okay. There's nothing hooked up to it that would go off. Okay. Cool. Is your alarm off?
I just turned them all off.
Put it in the other room. No. Yeah, no. All right. I'm gonna dip out, and then you guys can just go.
And welcome to another edition of High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. I'm, of course, Brian Isley, and that's Raymond Byrd. It's a little different today. Couldn't actually make the studio, so we are remote doing this. I guess first take style when they traveling or whatever. But we're gonna get right to it. Yesterday was the second day for the in-season tournament. I'm not going to go through all the games. There was a lot of games, but the notable games were the Mavs over the Clippers. The Clippers are now 0-3 with James Harden. And the Lakers beat the Suns last night. What's your thoughts, Ray?
Lakers actually starting to look like a good basketball team. And even though Phoenix, they weren't whole because Booker didn't play last night, they don't look overwhelming, right? And they don't look like a great basketball team. Even though we haven't seen them whole, it's just like I haven't seen this dominant team that we kind of expected them to possibly be, especially on the offensive end. The Lakers are still without some of their main pieces, but they're starting to come into form in regards to, Reeves has started to play better. Some of the knock on Brown was that pass he made to Cam in the corner against Miami. Cam makes those same shots, in this game, and they come out and they win the game. I was impressed by the Lakers, especially with the slow start, 3-5. I ain't gonna say it was a big game, but going into Phoenix, it was on the road. That's a good dub, especially when you initially looked at that schedule and who they had to play on their little bracket. You thought Phoenix was going to be the toughest team in there, and already be 2-0 against them. Not necessarily both wins being in that tournament, but to have a tournament win against them and be 2-0 against them this season, that bodes well for them going forward.
Yeah, you mentioned Cam Reddish made that corner three that he missed in Miami. Did you see the reaction from LeBron James when Lisa Salters asked him about that?
And he responded as he should. You idiots. y'all don't know me by now. Like, y'all don't know that I play the game the right way. You know what I mean? And people that knock is, this is why he's not number one. This is why he's not the GOAT. At the end of the game, in a situation like that, if you could create a wide open shot, that's ideal, right? That's what you're looking to do. You're looking to create a great shot in that scenario. Very rarely in those pressure situations when the game is on the line, everybody is on their game. Everybody's playing great defense. You're going to get the hustle plays. You're going to get everything you're supposed to get out of that situation. And to create a wide open look, you're going to live with the results. Like we seen Mike do it. It just... in those big moments, Paxton made shots.
This is what pisses me off, right? You heard all the talk, all the chatter, only because Cam missed the shot.
He makes the shot. It's a great pass.
Only because he makes the shot. You hear absolutely nothing. You don't hear that was a great play. Brown is a great player, playmaker, this and that. He misses the shot, and you hear Bron is scared. Bron doesn't want the moment. Bron doesn't want to take the last shot. It's idiotic and it's asinine, and it makes me sick that these guys don't understand how to play basketball. I said it in one of my posts. Like, he's talking to everybody who's played or talked about basketball their entire life and still somehow never learned the game.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
Go ahead. You good?
It reminds me of. I'm sorry.
You good, bro? Go ahead.
It reminds me of, if you go back to NBA Finals. Was it Game 1? Game 1, the game where Bron was against Golden State, where he went for 50 on them, and at the end of that game, he went into the game. I think they were tie ball game. I think it was a tie ball game, something along those lines. I think it was a tie ball game. Bron comes down there, he beats his man, gets to the free throw line jumper, but in his corner of his eye, he caught, who was the guard?
Was it JR?
No, it wasn't JR. It was the one who was the point. He ended up playing for, I want to say he played for Milwaukee.
Oh, he was talking about George Hill.
George Hill. He caught George Hill underneath the basket, wide open for a layup. He smokes the layup, but he gets fouled. So at the very least, right, you put a guy who that year was a 85+% free throw shooter at the line. Mm-hmm. That's a great play, right? If you can get somebody a layup at the end of it, and I remember they were killing him the next day about that decision, why he just didn't pull up the 15-footer, the 15-foot contested jumper versus getting someone a wide open layup and putting, at the very least, you put a great free throw shooter on the line for 2 to ice the game. Yeah. George Hill, ends up going 1-1. So I think the Cavs were up 2 and he made 1-1, put them up 3. Long story short, you end up getting the game tied, you end up going to overtime and losing. But that's a great play. He makes the layup, game's over. He makes both free throws, game's over. But that wasn't the case. And I think that's been the story of Bron's career. Like, it's one of those things where damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know what I mean? If he goes over there, it's times where he goes to the rim and say he misses the layup. Oh, he was avoiding contact because he doesn't want to shoot free throws. If he shoots the jumper, it's, he should have went to the rim and dunked on everybody. It's like, it's one of those things where, or if he makes it, it was luck. He did it because it was against this team or whatever. It's always some kind of excuse to take away from his greatness when he has success or to second guess decisions that he makes. So it's like one of those things where unless he makes the 30-foot, even remember in the bubble, remember the first bubble, not the first bubble, but the first tournament that get into the playoffs. Remember their first year and they had to play Golden State. First play-in. And he hit that crazy 30-footer to end the game against Golden State. I remember the very next day, Stephen A came on TV and said it was luck. Anybody else makes that shot, they're clutch and they're this and they're that. But LeBron was lucky. That's crazy.
Right. And he's been lucky more than anyone because he's the all-time leader in game winners.
Right.
So what are we really talking about here? The guy who's scared to take the last shot, the guy who's scared to have the ball in his hands when it matters most, has the most clutch points and most game winners of all time. How does that even make sense?
You know, they'll change the scenario. Although they didn't count, they happened in the Eastern Conference. Blah, it'll be some kind of storyline they'll create to take away the credit that he actually deserves. You know what I mean? Like we going back and forth.
When you say that, doesn't it sound dumb?
Sounds crazy. Makes no sense. You know what I mean? It's the story of Bron's career. Like he's so great. We gotta create these, you know, the goal line might be this, right? And then once Bron passes it, oh, no, that's not the goal line. The goal line was actually over here. This is what I said he had to do. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's when Bron can't win. Like they're always going to change. Like me and you went back and forth many times where it's almost like Bron, you better off losing in the first round or the second round or the conference finals than you are getting to the final. Like you drag these teams that have no business getting to the finals, but we're not going to give you credit for that. When you lose the finals, it's your fault, and we're going to, you know what I mean? Like the storylines are crazy when we know the story behind it. You know, we know the information behind it, but I don't know. It's one of those type things where we don't want you to pass, Mike, and we're going to create every obstacle so you don't.
I saw a post today. I saw somebody say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he does. I don't care what he does. My list is my list, and it's not ever changing. That's totally unfair.
That's the whole. I mean, when you debate and when you're having a conversation, when you have these kind of shows, right? There's millions of these kind of shows out, right? You should be able to walk into the conversation and have the ability to be wrong, right? Have the ability to have the conversation and to have your opinion change because of the facts and the information being provided to you by other people, right? I can't walk into the conversation like, oh, LeBron's to go, because there are legit arguments. Like y'all, these other people aren't smart enough to have them to point out these points. There are legit points that you could come out with that are, all right, this is why he isn't my GOAT. And I wouldn't have a real argument, right? I would wouldn't
have a problem with it.
Right. I wouldn't have an issue with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm one of those people. You're not wrong if you say Mike is the GOAT, because Mike is great. I'm fine with that. But I'm not crazy when I say Bron is the GOAT. And that's what they try to create. Like
that's the difference.
Right.
That's the difference. Cam Reddish. Cam got the game ball yesterday. I'm glad he wasn't discouraged at the Miami situation because it was a clean look. He just missed. And it's just a testament to Bron as not just as one of the all-time great basketball players we've ever seen. It's a testament to Bron as an all-time great teammate, because he did not waver, he did not move, he did not shake his basketball acumen and his IQ and his trust in his teammates. He still did the same exact thing. He trusted what works. He took what the defense gave him. He kicked it out to Cam. Cam was wide open. Cam is a professional basketball player. You make the shot. You take the shot. Either you make it or you miss it, and we move on. And Cam made 4 of those corner threes.
You know what's crazy is in that same little flurry of possession, like there was a bunch of offensive rebounds in that. Like, I think they got 3 shots out of that possession, right? Cam started off by missing that same shot. The first possession, he missed that shot, but Bron still, like, those are the habits and the energy that you put into your teammates that pays off later on, because you're going to be in similar situations later on in the playoffs, on your journey to hopefully win a championship, where Cam Reddish is going to be in the corner. And maybe the fact that you've shown this confidence in him, it can't do nothing but help. If your goal is to win a championship, you're going to need others to help you. You're going to need Cam Reddish's, Reeves. You're going to need these other guys to make shots, because good teams are going to do things to take you and 80 away.
Yeah, and if you alienate them early in the season, it's not going to pay dividends later on down the line.
Absolutely.
If you take away shots from them and opportunities, they're not going to be ready when it matters most. You know what's great about LeBron? The greatest thing about LeBron? Nobody had to tell him that. Phil Jackson had to tell Michael Jordan, Paxson, and Kerr were open. Phil Jackson had to tell Kobe, share the ball with your teammates, even when Kobe had the most dominant center who ever lived. Phil Jackson had to force him to pass the ball. No one had to do that with LeBron. LeBron is a team-first guy, and he's still the all-time leading scorer. He's still fourth in assists. That's how great the guy is. And we're heading into the second quarter. Ray is up 10-9. It's like a boxing match today. 10-9? 10-9 you?
10-8. Well, I got a knockdown.
Nah, your CompuBox numbers ain't like that. You wouldn't have landed all your tower shots. But we're heading into the second quarter. The Clippers got beat by the Mavericks. The Mavericks put a $144 on them.
$144 on. Yo, like, and Luke was out there playing with them. Dropped a 44. What do you, a 44 Habo
Meganero.
That's 3 celery sticks, cooking. 2 blue cheeses, a ranch. If that's your twist, you know what I mean? And we throwing
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a twist.
Cheese fries with a little bacon sprinkled on them, all crazy, like.
Oh, real bacon.
Real bacon. Like, we really had to fry that joint up and chop that thing down and hit him with one of these. Let the bacon hit down my elbow all crazy.
No bacon bits, man. We don't do bacon bits around here.
Yo, Luka did them dirty. That was 3/4 of work too. Like 3/4 of work. That wasn't even full game. So he would put a 50 piece on crazy. They always had problems with Luka though.
Always.
Oh, Luka always put in work against the Clippers. Always. Like that.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Never bothered him. Like, y'all getting smoked, and I don't care what type time y'all on.
The Mavericks look great so far.
They 7-1, 7-2, something. They doing work. It's crazy. It's because Kyrie ain't even doing Kyrie's type things.
He's
Kyrie
not.
Been quiet.
Right. And Luka been putting in work, bro.
They got a good, they got that Grant Williams sign. Him.
Right. That was
his ability to stretch the floor is crazy, and he fits in perfectly. But he a dog on defense. He's versatile on defense, and usually you got that combination. And he shoots the tray ball at a high clip. They can put lineups out there with all shooting around Luka, which. I know we was going, I think earlier in the year, we was talking like, oh, it don't work. It's going to be hard to put a team around him. But maybe they figured it out. I'm happy for Jay Kidd. Is Jay Kidd the coach down there, right?
What's that?
Kidd, right? Jay Kidd the coach, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm happy for Jay Kidd. That's my guy. So
yeah, especially because I don't think Kidd got a fair shake in Milwaukee or Brooklyn.
Kidd was in Brooklyn? What Brooklyn? He got Brooklyn before Kyrie and them got there?
Remember? Yeah. It was way before. Remember when he had it was a timeout. He tried to call a timeout, didn't have a timeout, so he told one of his players to knock into him, and spill his drink.
Smart. That don't sound like something I should be firing you for.
That was they ain't firing for that. That was brilliant, but that was in Brooklyn. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's brilliant decision. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he got us a free time. I hope it worked.
Yeah, I think it did, but I don't think he got a fair shake there. I don't think he got a fair shake in Milwaukee. When he was in Milwaukee, Giannis was young. They was trying to pair Giannis and Jabari up. They thought that was going to be their dynamic duo. And
sometimes somebody's got to be a scapegoat. You know what I mean? You got a team, you put them together, and they underachieve, or they look like it's a young team and they building and they look like they're on the cusp, but they don't get over there at the time everybody thinks they should. Somebody's got to get fired, right? You know, you feel like you got to bring in a coach that's going to, the same thing will happen in Golden State. You fire Mark and you insert Kerr, and Kerr gets all the credit. You know what I mean?
That's a touchy subject for me.
Definitely a tough subject, because my boy Mark should be coaching in today's league somewhere, and he don't have a job because they did my boy dirty. And he deserves a lot. He won't get no credit for it, but he deserves a lot of credit for what Golden State turned into. And I wish he would have been there for that entire run. You know what I mean? But and it's crazy how that plays out, right? Steve Kerr is going to go down as one of the greatest coaches ever. You know what I mean? He's going to be probably top 10 ever. They love Steve Kerr. He's coaching Olympic teams and all that. And here's Mark jobless. But it could have easily been reversed, because Mark did even when they fired him, you could tell it was personal, because he did a great job with that team. They were building. They had got to the second round. Even the year when I think his last year, was it a second round exit? I believe it was a second round exit.
His last year
they lost to the Clippers. Remember, that was the year when the Clippers.
Yes,
Clippers had that issue with the coach, or not the coach, but the owner with the racist, whatever he had going on.
Donald Sterling.
And, that was, you lose to them because it's tons of energy out there in regards for the Clippers to win that series. Like, you got the whole emotion of the owner and all that stuff. Like, that was a weird series.
Right. Yeah, you said it was personal, which it clicked. It just clicked. I just had an epiphany. They let Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy go from ESPN, right?
Right.
The season starts, and Bob Myers, the former GM for the Golden State Warriors, is now a part of ESPN. So do you think that played a part in them letting Mark go because they knew they was about to sign Bob Myers?
I would say yes. And I don't know.
I would say yes too.
I don't know why that would have caused any issues, because I'm pretty sure Bob Myers is at the top, to the point where you're not having any day-to-day interaction with Martin Jackson. But for whatever reason, you felt the need to, we got to get him out of there because there's something between them. Bob doesn't like him, or they got bad blood, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. It's weird because Mark Jackson.
That is weird though, right? And it seems more than a coincidence to me.
But they don't even, it's crazy. They don't even talk about it. It's not even a topic.
Because you don't think of stuff like that. Like, I just thought about it. I
didn't know Bob Myers was part of ESPN, so I definitely didn't think about it.
Yo, he's on the Countdown show now.
He's on. So why would he have anything to do with Mark then? Because
most of the I know Countdown does a lot of their stuff in studio, but sometimes they're remote. Sometimes they're on location at the game. And, Mark and Mike Breen and Jeff Van Gundy, they called the game.
So you had to make a choice, and you had to. Mark is great at his job. Bob Myers is an unknown. So unless you got him, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. I don't know. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, it just seemed weird. That's all. We're just speculating. There's no proof to it.
I ain't speculating. We know what tight time they on.
They're definitely on some weird time. But we digress. The Clippers, man. What's going on, Byrd? What's happening with them, man? They got Harden. Everybody got what they wanted, and now they playing like hot garbage.
tough choices, right? You know what I mean? What it comes down to is you can't start all four. Russ or Harden, one of them has to come off the bench. Playing them next to each other, it doesn't fit. They were showing clips the other day where it was perfect ball rotation, ball swinging around, and Harden gets it wide open, but he got to take a dribble. And he got to step back against nobody just to get into the rhythm of what his shot normally feels like. And ends up getting his shot blocked. You know what I mean?
A step back against nobody is
step back
crazy.
against nobody. And because that's his game. He's so used to having the ball in his hands that all his shots require him to create separation and usually get them. It's not usually off of somebody else doing something and the ball swinging and you catching and shooting. So, you know, and the mistake they made, and I love Lou. I think Lou is one of the best coaches in the league. But he didn't nip it in the butt. You didn't make that hard choice from day one. And now you're going to create a scenario where somebody's going to be the scapegoat. Somebody's going to have to look like they're the reason you're struggling. You're 0-3. You're not playing to the expectations that you had when you formed this big four. And when you decide to take Westbrook or whatever and move him to the bench, now it looks like you're pointing the finger at him. And now you create a bad locker room because somebody's going, regardless of what they say to the public, to the media, or whatever, like, oh, yeah, you just want to win. Nobody wants to look like you're the reason we're not being successful, right? Especially Russ. And you should have, off the top, Harden's our point guard, Russ, you're going to be our sixth man. And there will be times when we can close games with all of y'all, but it's going to be times where that's not the case. And the fact that they started this journey with all four of them starting is going to create bigger issues down the road.
It's wild that they did start that way. And it's crazy that Lou, who was assertive and displayed his authority with the most decorated superstar of our time and LeBron, he couldn't do that with this group. Like he couldn't assert a formula or designate players or manage egos with this group. And he managed the egos of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving in his rookie season as a head coach. I don't understand that at all.
Maybe it's because he was around them. You know, when you're the assistant coach, everybody's your friend. You're buddies with everybody. You know, everybody loves the assistant coach, right? So he got promoted to head coach. I think he had a little bit more leeway with Brian. Brian wanted the previous coach out, got his way. Lou gets promoted, so you got to rock. This is the guy you wanted, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think he had a little more leeway with that group because they wanted him. I think it's hard to go backwards, right? It's hard to come back later on and make that decision. So it's going to be hard it's easier to, all right, Russ come off the bench. We're struggling. Now we're going to move Russ to the starting lineup. You know what I mean? Let's try this versus, oh, we got all y'all starting. Now somebody's got to go to the bench to figure something out. I think another one of the biggest issues is that, you know, their most decorated players is Kawhi, Russ, and Harden, right? MVPs, finals MVPs, you got this. But your best player is probably Paul George at this point.
He is.
He's probably their best player, even though he's been struggling since the change, but he's their best player right now. But he's the least decorated of the three. So he's never going to be treated as their best player. It's always going to be Kawhi or Harden or one of those guys because they had the MVP, they had the accolades. And that's another problem.
Right. They you ain't gonna be able to tell them, look, man, the guy with nothing is the best guy.
Right.
But we can all see. I watched when the Lakers played the Clippers. Kawhi got busy. He had 38. Paul George's 35 looked effortless, and he could have got 40, but I believe he fouled out.
Paul George can play. He's not as, I ain't gonna say he's not as explosive because he still shows that explosiveness. One thing about his game I don't like is that it's so perimeter oriented. Paul George is shooting 8 to 10 trade balls every night. You know what I mean? Usually when you're the guy, you got to get to the free throw line. You got to get to the bucket. You got to mix your game up. So his game, like I think their last game against Dallas, you know what I mean, even though they got blown out, he struggled because all of his shots are coming from the perimeter. Everything is a tray ball. Everything is a contested two. You know, he got to do a better job of mixing his game up. But I think he is their best player, but he'll never be treated as such. It's always going to be Kawhi, Harden, Westbrook. All those are imposing personalities. Even now,
right.
like, you check the stat column, and you can see clearly what the problem is. The shot chart. Westbrook took 18 shots one game. It's like, Russ, you can't take 18 shots. You can't take as many shots as Kawhi. You can't take more shots than Paul George. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, unless you cooking. You know what I mean? You can't be 7 for 18.
And when does he cook? And when does he cook?
Ramen.
When does he cook? Not even top ramen. Not even top ramen. Moroccan.
The cup. Moroccan, whatever that other drawing is. It ain't top ramen. It's this guy. This guy does not cook. Is he shooting a better percentage this year? I thought he was. Like he's starting to play. I don't know. I watched a few games on play this year, and he's starting to make some of those Russ type shots where there's, off the window, mid range jumpers. He's not playing nearly as bad as he played for the Lakers. You know, he's playing much better.
I got to cut in here because I couldn't give any points. I couldn't give any points to everything, all the points you just made because the buzzer was off and you already, Ray's killing it. Ray's got 22. All right. Ray's got 22 and Brian's at 16. Ray was he had the Clipper. He had a 3. The Clipper step back was funny. It was nice there. I like that. So, so that's what.
All right. So that means I just got to stop laughing at your material because I laughed hard at that. That was hilarious. I guess that got you the point. So this is what's the score? 22 to 16. Jesus, what is going on with me today?
That's why we might have to start going remote.
I knew you was going to say that. You know what it is? I'm in moderator mode. I'm in Molly mode. I'm letting my boy cook. I'm letting my boy cook.
What it is, you're not good on the road. You're not good. You want them. Listen, role players do better at the crib. Superstars play well wherever. You put me in any gym. You play well at the Elks Center. We get you out of the, out of the element, you struggle. Superstars play great on the road. Man, I'm a superstar, baby.
Superstars are never under 500. You're under 500 right now. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But it's all good. And I actually am a second half player. So we'll see how things turn out after these messages. We are now at halftime.
This is halftime, and halftime is sponsored by If You Know, You Know Trivia Games. This is a trivia game created by a great friend of mine and friend to the show, Saquon Gillette. If You Know, You Know is a 90s to 2020s hip-hop and R&B trivia game. Is created by Saquon Gillette. As I said, it's Star Corner Production, Star Corner Games, and it's the game you never knew you needed. Guaranteed to have you singing, dancing, laughing, and reminiscing. You'll probably learn something too in the most fun way ever. It's for ages 13 and up. Because with hip hop we have explicit lyrics. But yeah, if you know trivia game, get it on Amazon and wherever games are sold. That is our halftime sponsor. Shout out to.
And we are back. This is High IQ Basketball with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. This is the third quarter. Ray is up 22 to 16. I don't know how, but whatever. We're going to get into the third quarter, and the third quarter is, since we talked about the Clippers with the addition of James Harden in the second quarter, we're going to talk about the Sixers since they traded James Harden and how they look. Your thoughts, Ray?
I'm glad we got to this. This was the highlight topic for me. This is the best one.
Yeah.
I think one of those additions by subtraction. You know, I mean, you got a chance. You got rid of Harden. You got a chance to see Maxey full bloom. You know what I mean? Like the boy is playing at a high level. He got a full package. He got flow game left, right. He super
package.
quick.
Hey,
chill, big chill, man. Boy, getting to the cup, finishing the tray ball. He's shooting with range, middies. The ball got full ball game, and it's got a chance to see it on full display. The team, you could tell everybody's happy playing with each other. And one of them type things, I think we talked about it yesterday offline, where it was just like, you know, you in a rhythm. The ball's moving. So even if you're not getting a shot, you're touching the ball. The ball's moving around.
Yeah.
You're a part of what's going on rather than, you know, somebody has the ball for 22 seconds and they kick the ball to you in the corner and it's 2 seconds and you got to shoot the ball. You know what I mean? Everybody is truly feeling a part of this offense. I think is one of those things where the Sixers are in a very good situation. They couldn't have asked for a better scenario after that trade. You make the trade and you worry about, you know, is Embiid going to be happy? Is he going to be, you know, asking for a trade? And he seems to be happy. The team's playing at a very well. I think they 7-1, number 1 seed in the East. It's early right now, so who knows how that all plays out. But he's happy. The team's competitive. I think he feels like he got the pieces where he can win with what he has. And they still have ammunition. They got everything they got from the Harden trade in the arsenal to still go out and go make it. They're going to be able to look at their team, get to the trade deadline, and make decisions on, do we need to add this? Do we need to add that? The other 2 contenders, Boston and Milwaukee, they both shot their shot already. Milwaukee gave up everything they could have gave up to go get Dame. Boston gave up everything they could have gave up to go get Holiday and Porzingis. There's no other moves for them to make outside of just the buyout market. Philly, who seems to be on par with those 2 teams as is, still has bullets in the chamber to go make a move, to go, if it's a small little role players they want to add to, you know, bolster the bench or swap this piece out for that piece. They look like they look to be in a better situation than they were when they had Harden. Who would have thought that? Because you would have thought that, I mean, I know the jokes were, the process looks crazy now. Now it's going to be, they're going to have to do it all over again because they're going to have to trade Embiid. Nah, Embiid look happy. And if I'm Embiid, I'm good. Maxey hooping. And we can go add something else. Couldn't ask for a better situation.
You left one part out. That's a great take. But they traded Harden, right? They traded a headache that is James Harden. They traded the black cloud over their organization situation with him and Daryl Morey. It's done. It's over with. Got rid of that. That's great. They also got rid of a player who gives you everything on the defensive end and absolutely nothing on the offensive end, and PJ Tucker. Right. They added people who can actually put the ball in the basket and play defense. Covington is a capable defender. Oubre can lock in and play defense at times. They have scorers who are capable defenders now, as opposed to having a player who is all about scrap and defense and fight and dog, but can't get you a bucket to save his life on the other end.
Right.
And I think that is crucial because down the stretch, and especially when it get thick in the playoffs, they're going to need somebody other than Embiid, who Embiid trusts to kick out of the double team, who can knock down that shot. We talk about Cam Reddish and the trust that LeBron James has in him to knock down that shot. Embiid has to have trust in Oubre. He has to have trust in Covington. He has to have trust in Tobias Harris, which I think he does. And he's building more trust in Maxey each and every day to be that second guy and that guy that can help him be closed, or he could close on his own when it matters most. They got a very unique and capable roster, and I think Nick Nurse is competent enough because we've seen him work with this kind of win by committee squad. We've seen him do that in 2019, so he's capable of doing that here in Philadelphia. They don't have the big names that Milwaukee and Boston have, but to your point, I think they're on par roster for roster. Now, if they make a move before the trade deadline and bolster it even more, now we're cooking. Now I'm thinking about buying ticks.
You know what's crazy?
You know what I mean?
You know what's crazy is that you get rid of Harden, right? And everything seems to fall in place, right? Because Embiid is numero uno, right? Even when Harden was there, Embiid's your first option. He won the MVP, right? Maxey falls into now your 2 spot, and now Tobias rounds out to that 3 spot where he's very comfortable being, like 17 points a game. He can get his own bucket. He can spot up and shoot. He can do a plethora of different things. And then you talk about now you got all the role players. Oubre getting buckets down there. He's very I don't think he's playing above his head. I think he's playing to his capability. He can knock down open shots. He's athletic. I think that entire team, they're happy to. You can tell when someone's happy to come to work, right? You look like them boys is happy to come to work. They happy to be a part of what, and that's a big part of, building a championship team. Being happy playing with the guys you're playing with. You know what I mean? Being happy with the role that you have. And like I said before, like they have this thing hanging in the background where they got all these first round picks. And I think they're going to have to be careful. They might not need, I was thinking, you might have to go get a Zach LaVine or somebody of that caliber. That might not be the move. You know what I mean? The move might be just to add a little of this and throw a little adobe on there here and there. You might not need to go grab another entree, you know what I mean, on another protein or something crazy. You might not want to go with the double shaboing boings. You know what I mean? You might just want to keep it. What? But yo, seriously, I think the Sixers could not have asked for the situation to play out better than what it has. Like they should be happy with the Harden trade. They got what they could have hoped for. They got pieces. You got contracts you can sell, you can trade. You got expiring deals that you can get off. Marcus Morris. You got Batum for that. I mean, I might not even move Batum because he looked like he fits. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he's
one of those players that you put him into a roster, you put him into a rotation, he's going to fit. He's just that type of player.
He looked like he was on the way out the league when he was in Charlotte. I'm just
saying from an ability standpoint. From an ability standpoint, since Portland, he looked like you could just plug him into a rotation and he'll fit.
Right. I like the Sixers team. I'm happy that Maxey out here doing work. Long as Embiid can stay healthy. You've been big on
Maxey for a long time. You've been big on Maxey for a while. I remember you having arguments with people in Walmart saying they should just ride with Maxey, and they were telling you.
I was like, yo, you could, I mean, if I got to move off of Embiid, I'm keeping Maxey and piecing the thing around him. But I like the direction of this team. I think, as long as they smart in what they add, you don't want to add a headache. You got to be smart in what you add to what you. See, I think Zach would be perfect because he a shooter.
See, here's the thing. We're asking them. We're asking the 76ers organization to be smart.
Well, they look like they were smart just now. You got off of Harden. You added some.
They have a
players.
history of not being smart. I'm saying they have a history of not being smart way more than they have of being smart. So we are giving them credit where credit is due. This is a great move. They got rid of a headache and they added pieces that can help Embiid and Maxey. Noted. But they, over the years, they've had a bad track record of making moves that depleted the roster and crushed morale. So we just got to wait and see. And with all this being said, the great moves that they made to get rid of Harden and bring the roster the way it is now, I still think at the end of the season, they're a second round out.
I mean, well, if you think that, right, you think that they are exactly what they were with Harden. So if you traded Harden, obtained assets, and you are exactly, people are looking at you, you think that team is exactly what they was the previous year, they won.
I don't.
That means you did a great job. and you have
Word.
assets to improve upon, can't be mad at that. I think they might be better than a second round out because the expectations aren't that. If they lost in the second round, let's say they make no moves and they're as is, and they win a playoff series and give a tough. They play Milwaukee or Boston in the second round, push them 6-7 games. I don't think you walking away from that like, oh my gosh, we got to fire the coach. We got to, you know what I mean?
I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a great lateral move. You don't have the headache, and you still got the firepower to contend for a championship. Right. That was the point I was trying to make. It's a great it's one of those lateral moves that I'm not mad at because they got rid of a headache, an aging superstar who thinks he's still the one and he's not, who's very entitled, been coddled his entire career since Houston. He's gone now, and you still have a competitive roster. That's a win for the Sixers.
Here's my prediction, right? I don't know if we're allowed to. I think it's early enough where we can change our predictions, right? I think it's early enough, right? We ain't even 10 games in.
Change them whenever you want. It's your show.
No. I think by All-Star break, you got to be locked in. I'm changing mine right now. I'm going with the Sixers to come out the East.
Wow.
I think the Sixers are going to make a move, a substantial piece that's going to get them over the hump. I think I like the team as is, and I think they're going to make a move. I think.
Wait. Hold on. So you're making that prediction with the thought that they're going to make a move. You're not making that prediction with the roster as is.
I think you look.
All right. So wait, I'm going to cut in because it is the buzzer. We were at the buzzer, and this is perfect for like what we need to do. All right, Ray, I'm going to kick it to you. You got a minute to kind of like sum up the point, and then we'll go back to Bri to like and for his thoughts on it, and we'll just see how it looks. All right, cool.
Gotcha. Yep. All right, so I look at the two teams. So you're looking at Milwaukee, you're looking at Boston. I think great rosters on both sides, right? Most times it comes down to who's the best player, right? And they both got great players on both sides. You got Giannis, you got Tatum, blah, 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 right? But they got Embiid. Embiid is the MVP from the previous season. And Embiid plays a position that neither one of them play. And as great as Giannis is, he can't do nothing with Embiid. Tatum is a 3. He can't do nothing with Embiid. Embiid might be the thing that gets him over the hump. And I think that pressure of not having the pressure, you know what I mean? The expectations isn't championship or bust, you know what I mean? So I think with or without a move, like I'm going with the Sixers. I think this is Embiid's moving. I think at the very least they're getting to the conference finals. I think they're knocking one of the boys off.
All right, and I don't think so. I think that the Sixers are going to be a second round out, and I think it's going to be okay because they don't have that pressure anymore. They don't have that dynamic duo who, if you don't remember, a year ago, some people were comparing Embiid and Harden to Kobe and Shaq, which was asinine. It's crazy. They don't have that. Embiid doesn't have that pressure anymore. He already got over the hump and got his MVP. Now you could just go play. You got house money. You got Maxey. You got all these guys. They could create an upset. They could very well make some noise and beat some people. But I think roster as currently constructed, they're second round out, and it's okay because it's a better second round out than it is last year because the expectation was a title. The expectation is not a title now. So second round out is okay.
I got them coming. I think they make a move. So I can't see them.
We shall see.
I can't see them.
We shall see. Neil, how we do on that?
I think that was pretty good. All right. So I'm going to give, let's see. I'm going to say Brian. I feel like that Brian had like a 3 on that, though. That was like, I think like that on the take. I know. Ray, it's going to be hard to hear. All right. Brian's crushing. Brian, I feel like he was correct in that. Like I got, just because of the Maxey trust take, the Batum one, I think too. There was a lot in there that I liked a lot. The second round out for the Sixers. And then Ray as well. Did pretty well. So what do we have? We got 6, 8, 10. So Ray is 32. And Brian's coming up from behind. Let's see. 8. I gotta just make this stall while I pull this together. There's a couple of points in here, dude. You might be pulling away by a lot. Hold on. 10, 12, 14. Oh, yeah, there we go. 14 and there's 17. Boom. All right. So, and that, what are you, 27? No. Just keep going, and then I'll add this up. Hold on. It's too many. I got like the tax it.
There's a lot of adding over there. I was over there doing. I was cooking. I was cooking in that third quarter. So we are now in the fourth quarter. Neil is still working on the score because I scored so many points in the third quarter that he's got to tally it up, and it's going to take some time. We are heading into the fourth now, and this is an interesting topic. Lil Wayne was on Undisputed the other day, and I believe he was asked the question, what do the Lakers have to do to win a title? And his answer was, if they really want to win, if they're serious about winning, they had to get rid of AD. Now, we usually don't take, I take rappers' opinions about who with a grain of salt. And I understand why Lil Wayne is on the show. He's great friends with Skip, and it's supposed to generate numbers because Lil Wayne is an icon. Lil Wayne has a fan base that will tune in to watch him do almost anything. But this was a very interesting point, and I want to know your thoughts on it.
I would say I get where he's coming from. The inavailability. You know what I mean? The unknowns that you get with AD, the highs and the lows. You know what I mean? When you're talking about winning the championship, you need consistency. You need consistent greatness from especially a guy that at this stage in LeBron's career, like AD should be the better player. AD should be steering the ship, and Bron should be going along for the ride. You know what I mean? Bron should have his moments here and there, but it should be consistently AD being the better player. And the fact that that transition has never truly taken place is alarming. But, just from the point of, looking at the landscape of the league, like, who do you trade AD for? Like, if you're saying that, you got to move off of AD, who do you get for AD that's going to allow you to win a championship? Because this isn't young LeBron, right? This isn't LeBron that, all right, we can trade AD, go get some pieces, put him around Bron, and we can go win like that. That's not the LeBron you currently have. If you want to win a championship with LeBron at this stage in his career, you want to have somebody who is better, or at the very least as good as LeBron can be at his best. And I'm not sure that trade exists in the league this year. So I agree with him in regards to AD is so, it's hard to believe in him. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan, so I want to see him be great. End of the year on that run to get to the playoffs, AD was incredible. You know what I mean? First and second rounds, he was incredible. And he had those games that's like, yo, this guy is him. Like, this is the best defensive player in the playoffs. And, he can give you 30. That's a rare combination, right? A guy that you look at as potentially being the best defensive player in the league, and he can go get you 30. That's a rare combo. But then, he'll come back the very next game and give you 11. You know what I mean? And to be a superstar, that's alarming. That's alarming where it's just, and then you throw in, you throw in the injuries. It's always, he walks into the season saying, I'm playing 82 games. I'm going to go hard. Bro, you can't even hide injuries. Like, you get any kind of nick, and it's, get me out. Like, come on, my boy. Like, yo, Eglee, where's your toughness? Like, he can't even hide an injury. Like, anything happens, I'm grabbing an arm. I'm limping. Like, play through something. You know what I mean? You know how much the team needs you. Show some
Right.
kind of toughness. You get hurt and it's, I'm definitely going to be ready for the next game. And then you're on the bench in street clothes. Like, he's very unreliable. So I agree. But I don't agree because I don't know what you could go get. What can you get for AD right now that's going to put you in a position to take advantage of this small window that you have with LeBron?
In that regard, I agree with you. I don't know who you go get to replace him. And the Lakers already invested an extension, 3 years, $186 million into this guy. I do agree with him in regard. I don't think he's ever going to take the reins the way he should as the face of the franchise. I know LeBron is trying to force him to take the reins. I know that the Lakers organization is trying to tell him and show him that he is the face and the future of the franchise, but I just don't see it. And I also think that at the age of 30, I think that we might have seen, and this is unfortunate, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something. Maybe one day, he'll turn into that guy that the scouts and the GMs said they would pick him number one over everybody. I remember that poll that they took a few years back. And it was like, who's the superstar you would take first? And everybody said AD.
Yeah,
Because
I remember
they saw the potential of AD becoming the best player in the league. Unfortunately, he hasn't become that. He hasn't been the best player of the league. And it's debatable whether he's top 10. It is not based on talent. It's not based on ability. It's based on availability. And he hasn't been able to showcase that he's reliable enough to be available enough to be dominant enough. Yeah, go ahead. You're fine. Go ahead.
No dog. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He ain't got no dog in him. You know what I mean? Like it looked like New Orleans, the kid looked special. I think the Lakers got 1 year of Anthony Davis, New Orleans version of him. And that was the first year. And outside of that, think about the year in the bubble when they won the chip, right? You didn't notice it because you was winning, but the inconsistencies were showing in. Look, and go back to that Miami series in the finals. First 3 games of that series, he looked like the finals MVP.
Yeah.
And then he was average the rest of the series. And they were lucky that you had Bron. You ain't got Bron no more. You got LeBron now. And LeBron is not good enough on a consistent basis to carry the whole roster on his back anymore.
Right.
So,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
He's giving it a valiant effort.
He's playing well. He's playing well. Bron is not good enough at this point in his career to carry all of them. He needs somebody that's going to play. And he shouldn't be
asked to. It shouldn't even come to this point. It shouldn't even come to this point. And that's where I'm frustrated with Anthony Davis. Like, Bron should be on. You remember that video when it was the Lakers in the playoffs back in the day, and I think Kobe had sprained his ankle, and they showed Shaq walking into the locker room with Kobe on his back. He was giving him a piggyback ride. Remember that? That's what AD should be doing for LeBron James right now. Literally and figuratively on the basketball court. He should be carrying this man and carrying this roster to another championship. The way Shaq carried the Lakers to that three-peat. Like, it should be dominant that way. That's how much regard and that people had for Anthony Davis. I remember people were saying this guy is him. This guy is going to be an all-time great. This guy is going to be the best player in the league for years.
I remember that poll. This is when Bron was still Bron. And
do you remember?
I remember the tape. They said, who is going to replace LeBron as the best player? And the popular thing was, oh, it's going to be KD. And then people, and when they had the poll, they said, nah, it's going to be AD. AD is going to become the best player in the world. After Bron, it's going to be AD. And that never happened. You know what I mean? And
never happened.
He ain't got the dog. And you know, the thing that he missing probably more than anything is just that go take your 20 shots. You should be taking 20 shots every night. Nobody's going to question that. Nobody's going, if you go 5 for 20, everybody's cool with it. Nobody's mad at you for taking your 20. If you go 15 to 20, great. But he don't have that mentality to be dominant every single night. The AD is when everything is going well, he'll be that guy. Shots is falling, he's that guy. But when it's hard and the shots aren't falling, he can't pick himself up. You're struggling. You get off to a slow start, AD's going to have a bad game. That's just what it is. He's not one of those guys where
brittle.
His body is. I don't even think. I think it's mental. I think, and I guess you can't blame him.
I don't think so.
I think it is mental. He does not have. You can hoop, right? And you sprain your ankle. You go tighten my joints up. I'm hooping. This is you hooping out at you hooping at LA, and we ain't getting no bread. I want to hoop.
We ain't getting no bread.
Let me go tighten my joint up. I want to play ball. Hoopers is in here. I'm ready to go. I came here to get busy.
Yeah. We've done that. Absolutely.
That in him. He is. I gotta sit out this game. I gotta massage my. I'm going home. That's him.
That's what type time he on.
That's the type time he on. I'm going home. I gotta ace my ankle. He ain't tightening that thing up and going to work. He ain't built like that. And I think it's toughness, mental, dog. He don't have any of those things because I think some of these injuries. When you hurt, you hurt. It is what it is. But some of these injuries he be having, like, all right, the game he got hurt, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, and somehow you missed that game and another game. Like, what?
Just this season, I had said something to you. I'm like, oh boy, this guy hurt again. He over there flexing his hand. You was like, yo, what? I ain't even see that. What happened?
I like AD. I'm rooting for AD. I want to see AD be great. But he is not in him. So I think Wayne is right. You know what I mean? If there was if you could trade him straight up for Embiid, I would do it. You know what I mean? But I just don't know if that trade of that value is out there because
Daryl Morey may be a liar. Daryl Morey may be a liar, but he's not stupid.
He's not stupid, right?
That's not happening, bro. There's no way. I would welcome it. I would welcome it with open arms. And if Pelinka was able to pull something off like that, that would be epic. But that's not happening.
Embiid is injury prone too. But Embiid is a dog. You ain't, you know what I mean?
Embiid wants to be the best.
Dog. And Embiid is taking his 20 to 25 shots every night. He going to get busy. I'm going to go to the free throw line. I'm shooting 15, 20 free throws. AD don't do that. AD ain't. There's no physicality in his game. There's no assertiveness. Like I said, when it's going well, he gonna kill you. He gonna look like the best player in the world. But if he gets off to a slow start, man, you can check him off. You can get nothing from him that night.
Here's the thing about Embiid that I like, and I wish he would do more of. He could be too perimeter oriented at times. Yes, he could fall in love with that jumper a lot. But when it's really time to get down and dirty, he gets that ball on that block. 1-2 dribbles. I'm rising up and I'm dunking on you. Sometimes he gets a little Shaq-ish. You get what I'm saying? Like he doesn't do it as much as I would like for him to, but sometimes he gets that ball on the block and it is hammer time. I don't care who's guarding me. I've seen him do it to Giannis. I've seen him do it to Joker. I've seen him do that to AD. I've seen him do that to Cat. He destroys Cat. I think that's personal. I think whenever they match up, he absolutely demolishes Cat.
Some guys, when you look on the calendar and you see the schedule, and I got Joker tonight, I got Cat tomorrow, I got Giannis next week. I'm getting these games. I'm circling. I'm not hurt those games. I ankle sprain. I'm hooping.
Word up.
This is the matchups. That's how Embiid is. He play against any other big in the league. He is going to get busy because he looks at those as benchmark games. Like, yo, I gotta show you I gotta show you I'm him.
Yeah.
AD ain't like that. AD ain't like that. You know what I mean? AD will play average as shit against Giannis. He'll play average anytime he goes against Embiid. Embiid kills him. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He ain't got no dog.
So is this one last question? Is this the best we've seen of AD? Have we seen the best of Anthony Davis?
I think it's the best in regards to you're going to get highs and lows. You're going to get moments where you see AD and he looks incredible. And then you're going to see moments where he's giving you 15, 17 points. I think he'd be better served if he was in the third role. If we had been able to go get Kyrie and still had AD, that would be the perfect roster because, you know, Brown going to get his, Kai will go get his, and AD can have those games where if he's got 17 and 8 rebounds and play great defense, it would be enough. But then you know you would get those games where everything is going right and he gave you 40. But when he's in a position where he's the guy and you need that 25 to 30 every single night, you're not going to get it. He's not consistent. So I think I'm not going to say we've seen the best because I think this is what you get from him. You get highs and lows.
Got it. Neil?
Yeah, here we go. Serving it up. Good round, everybody. Sorry it's over top of Brian's head at the moment. I apologize. But, yeah, Ray was racking up stuff in the fourth quarter there. His defensive notes with AD, and he's unreliable. You know, a lot of stuff. Brian even agreeing at a certain point. Like, you guys kind of agreed on that subject. But then, Brian just started to go in there. So, yeah, you got 52, Brian, 46, Ray at the end of the fourth. I'm with the buzz. I'm with the horn on this. Boom. That's what it is. All right, I'll let you guys do.
That was the fourth?
Was that not the fourth? That was definitely the fourth.
Yeah, that was the fourth. Yeah, that was
definitely the fourth.
Okay. I mean, I've just been cooking this whole second half, so it kind of all blended together. Yeah, I mean, the second half was just one quarter for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
The coach ain't take me out. The coach he ain't take me out. He just let me cook. So, you know what I'm saying? We gonna get into the OT.
This
is overtime.
Is at the end, you doing your jersey swap, and you and Neil doing jersey swaps together.
The end result is 3, 1, and 1.
Listen, you and Neil, like you see the memes where you had a player, then he doing a jersey swap with the ref. You doing a jersey swap with Neil. I mean,
it's crazy. Now it's a conspiracy. It's a Neil conspiracy. But we're gonna get into the OT. The OT is kind of we've had this discussion before about Black-owned businesses and what they can do to improve service and overall quality, especially at restaurants.
Let me lead off for this, man.
Keith Lee, Keith Lee visited Atlanta and all hell broke loose. He's been receiving death threats. That's not funny, but it's funny. Apparently, he went to these ATL restaurants and completely obliterated them, stating poor quality, poor customer service. Ray, I know you have a very strong opinion about this. I've heard it, but I want the masses to hear it. What's your take, my friend?
First of all, let me lead up. I love Atlanta. I've had nothing but great experiences in Atlanta, so I can't necessarily agree with him. But in regards to Atlanta, but like on restaurants, when you go to these and they got they run these operations very shitty. The hours of operation are all over the place. You know what I mean? If they got a popular product, they always running out. You know what I mean? And I ain't gonna name I don't want to name nobody, none of these
No,
places by
absolutely
name.
not.
But every place I've gone to, and I'm a foodie, so somebody say something popping, I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna give it a try.
Yeah.
And I'm
give
gonna
me
go
suggestions all the
everywhere.
time.
Right. And I'm gonna go everywhere. It don't matter what it is. If it's black owned, first of all, that if they say I've called places. Are we open at 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock or whatever? And I've called them. What's going on? I'm trying to put an order in. Do you want mac and cheese and yams? Well, we ain't got those yet. You can't put in. I mean, like, either they ain't got enough of this stuff. I've gone places, put in orders. Very popular spot, wing spot. Go over there, put my order in. Said it's gonna be a couple hours. It's gonna be an hour wait or whatever, right? Cool. I go home. I'm gonna wait up. I've been home waiting so long for the call that my food was ready. I forgot. I'm sitting at home like trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat because I forgot I had an order in. So I'm out the crib going to go get food, and then I get a call. Your platter's ready. Damn, I didn't even know I had an order in no more. I forgot all about that. So
that's wild.
I never had an issue with so much quality. But matter of fact, I'm gonna say quality as well. I think these black-owned restaurants like that, I think they go through their personnel so much that they'll have one cook one day, then they have somebody else cooking the next day, and everything
trash.
that you thought was smacking is trash today. It's times where you it's been popping all this time, and then you slide back and we go to my old trusty shrimp platter, blah blah blah, and it's horrible this time. Or the shrimp is mad small, or the fish is mad bony. Like I'm telling you, like the consistency in the black old operations is trash. The hours of they always. What kind of operation y'all run and y'all closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, only open on Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Like the operations be garbage. And listen, I'm still gonna rock with y'all. I like soul food, so I'm gonna pull up and give y'all a try. But
listen, I frequented Atlanta a lot over my comedy career. Don't really have an issue with the restaurants that I've been to. I thought all of them were top notch, stellar. So I didn't go to the restaurants that Keith Lee went to, but the ones that I went to, salute, because they did an awesome job. Got my food in a timely fashion. Service was impeccable, and the food was delicious. So I don't have an issue with any of those black-owned restaurants down there. But I will say this: I have had my issues, and here's my take on it. It's not the quality or the actual customer service that I have a problem with. The problem that I have with is the unwillingness for these companies to accept criticism. Once you criticize, if you're black and you criticize a black owned restaurant or establishment,
you're hating.
They automatically try to shame you for it. And that's unfortunate, because there's a lot of black owned restaurants and businesses that need improvement, that need structure, but they don't have the know-how. And if somebody's coming to you with a legit complaint or a legit critique, you shouldn't try to turn them away. You certainly shouldn't be cursing them out and trying to fight and all this stuff. I've seen a whole lot of stuff go down in black-owned businesses and restaurants and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate because the attitude and the mindset is wrong. That there are a lot of them of the mindset of, I opened this business, come F with me. That's it. If you don't F with me off the strength that I'm black and I opened up my own business, you're a hater. Forget all the other stuff that I have to get good at and improve upon. Just F with me off the strength that I'm black and I did this.
See,
If
one of
you
my
don't,
issues,
you're a hater.
it's a lack of professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the issues you go to these other chain restaurants, right? I'm not walking in there and you're not telling me it's an hour and a half wait. You're not telling me it's 2 hour wait. You're not running out of this, running out of that. Like the professionalism is horrible. I remember one place I'm out and about or whatever, and I overheard somebody else talking about this. It's a wing spot in Woodbury that everybody rock with joints. And the wings is one thing I'll give them is the consistency in the food is there. They might be one of those places where they got the same chef. Maybe the directions is on the wall because that thing is always. I put you on that spot one time when you slid to the crib on wings.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you.
Them joints is always top notch.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you can't call it. You might as well not call the phone because sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't. But then you can slide into the facility and they right there. I'm like, all right, man, I just called the phone. I wanted to call in my joint, but I got to pull up because you all ain't answering the phone today. Pull up, put your order in, and it's 2 hours. And then there's times when I didn't see you to put your order in, they tell you an hour. You slide there and you can tell they don't even know, you got an order in? You got to show them your receipt. You know what I mean? It's like, y'all ain't even started my job. Like professionalism for Black-owned restaurants is, I ain't gonna say it's consistently bad for everybody, but a lot of places it's horrible. Horrible in regards to just time management, horrible in regards to sometimes the consistency in the product. You know what I mean? And the customer service overall is sometimes bad. You know what I mean? This is how they treat you as the customer. You go to these other places, you the customer. They treat you like when you in this building, you the king. They treat you well, make sure you happy.
Yeah.
That's not always the case when you're rocking with these Black-owned restaurants. So, I can't say I've been ever treated horribly because that's not necessarily been the case, but definitely in regards to the timing, the consistency of what your schedule was supposed to be. Like if you're supposed to be open on this day, all of a sudden they ain't somebody, we late today. It's 2:00. We supposed to open up at 12. You get that a lot. Right. Professionalism is all over the place. So
I just want to pop in here because, Mike, did you know about the whole thing of it? Because Keith Lee. This is he's getting a raw deal, regardless. No puns intended, but because he says it's easy to find, but it's real milk and honey. It's it's in College Park area in Atlanta. And he even says, he's like, I was disappointed that I had to give the review. He's just like, then he tells his followers, don't call this restaurant trying to get people fired. Ain't nobody trying to do nothing. He's just sad about the review. And it was and they said it was inaccurate but it was the same thing you guys are talking about, call-in orders and business hours. And they say it's inaccurate that what he was claiming, but I don't know. You got to take somebody's word for it. I don't know. But yeah, I just found that interesting. That's tough. It can't be
inaccurate because we just broke it down without even knowing that part of it. We just broke it down to two things: time management and quality of product. So we know these things, and that's what Keith Lee is basing his bad review on.
Right.
It has to be true.
Yeah. Right. And even here, he's being he's just like, don't call anybody trying to get them fired. It's just not for you. Don't, he's like, it's fine if the restaurant's not for you. That's okay. That's not a big deal. And I think in here, he also just says he was kind of disappointed of the response. Some of these rules are pretty crazy around some of it, that I deal with. But if you want to try it, go out and try it. If you want to go get the food, go get it. Give it a shot.
Right.
So he was trying to be honest, and I guess he got lit up for it.
See, one thing is a lot of these places, they have these issues. These issues don't be new information to them. You will know that your wait time is wild crazy. You know that your food is sometimes inconsistent. You'll know that your hours of operation is all over. You're not honoring your hours of operation. You know this, but especially if they got something that's popular and it's popping. If they got something that's popular and it's popping, they don't care about none of that. People are going to still rock with us regardless. And I've known many places where I'm talking to other people and we'll, without even thinking, we're giving a review this joint is popping, but you're going to wait mad long. You can't call the phone and put an order in. You got to slide up there. You know what I mean? You might have to wait for your food because they might forget your order. Like, we'll know this stuff. This is stuff that, you know, especially in amongst us, we'll talk about and know that that's the case. But, you know, if the food good, you still gonna rock with it, which, you know, also enables them to move how they be moving.
Absolutely.
And they never take advantage. Like, yo, they'll have success and blow it.
That's true too. We still love y'all and we still gonna rock with you. But a lot of y'all need to step your ish up. And that's just the bottom line.
Facts.
This has been High IQ Basketball episode 5 with Brian Isley and Raymond Byrd. Shout out to super producer Neil. And we will catch you guys next time. Later.
Need a cut? I know I do. At least once every few days. What's that? You can't afford it. Price is too high? No need to worry. Phenomenal's Barbershop and Salon offers top-notch grooming at an affordable price with no long waits. Located at 40 Berlin Road, Clementon Lake Plaza, New Jersey, right next to Clementon Park. Call 856-782-4900 to set up an appointment, pull up, and walk out looking phenomenal.
I'ma have to tie up my Nikes for this one. I'ma go for like a quadruple double. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. If fortune favors the bold, that's why I keep on just winning. If timing is just the essence, then I'ma keep on just spending. I'm worth a couple of bucks, shout out to Antetokounmpo. Dropping in B-ball facts that's seeping into your glue buds. Advising like Tony Kukoc, we getting into it mucho. Directing all these plays like my name was Tony Russo. Ballin', that's how we do, so I'm going in for the win. Penetrate the lane like we way back in 2010. I'm stomping straight in my Timbs. The basics just like I'm Tim. I'm dunking on you haters. A poster is where you live. It's magic all in my wrist. Steph Curry, we going swish. It's showtime like the 80s. Basketball is where we live. I'm highly gifted and skilled. I'm going in for the kill. The game is on the line. Raymond Byrd, hey, yo, what's the deal? Pass it to Brian Isley. I bet he probably surprised me. High IQ basketball is just showing it's not a hobby. Playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down, so now shoot it. We playing the game to win, and greatness come from within. The only time you lose if you only never begin. Gotta be like the shoes and just do it. The clock is winding down.
This has been a DropTent Media production.